Welcome to Urban Legends. Let's step into the shadows. In the realm of darkness where shadows come alive and whispers echo through the void, you are about to embark on a spine-tingling journey into the heart of terror, where wishes come true and nightmares become real. Welcome to Hell's Gate Bridge. The cold autumn wind swept through the small town of Oxford, Alabama, carrying with it the whispers of Halloween legends. Among the youth, a dare was whispered, one that sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest. It was the tale of Hell's Gate Bridge, a place rumored to be cursed, where a tragic love story had met its sinister end. In a cozy, dimly lit living room, a group of friends gathered on Halloween night. The dim glow of jack-o'-lantern pumpkins illuminated mischievous smiles, and the room was filled with an eerie, anticipatory energy. The friends were taking turns trying to scare each other with their most chilling ghost stories. Among them was Bram, known for his fearlessness and love of challenges. As the night wore on, the group shared stories that would fill the room with a foreboding fear. When it was Bram's turn, he began to recount a tale that had haunted their small town for 40 years, the story of Hell's Gate Bridge. With each word, the room grew darker, and the hair on their necks stood on end. Bram's storytelling had the uncanny ability to pull them into the sinister tale as if they were living it themselves. Bram, with a wicked glint in his eye, gathered his friends around him. The dim light of the jack-o'-lanterns created eerie shadows, setting the stage for his chilling tale. He cleared his throat and began in a deep, haunting voice, his friends leaning in closer, eager to be enthralled. "Their story begins," Bram intoned, "with a hopeful journey, a proposal of marriage at a local beauty spot, and a declaration of love intended to bind them together for life. Little did the young man know that his beloved had concealed a heart-wrenching secret, a pregnancy by another man." The room seemed to grow colder as Bram's words carried the weight of sorrow, and the atmosphere turned somber. The weight of this revelation crushed his heart, turning his love into maddening despair. As Bram spoke, he could see his friend's expressions shift from curiosity to unease. As they journeyed home, Bram's voice grew more intense. The pain and heartache grew unbearable. The young man, lost in a whirlwind of grief and rage, believed that if he couldn't have her, no one should. He paused for dramatic effect, allowing the haunting tale to settle in their minds. In his moment of madness, he whispered, he drove off Hell's Gate Bridge, an act that tore the fabric between this world and the next, opening up a passage to hell for both of their sins. Bram's friends sat in rapt attention, their faces a mix of fascination and dread. He continued, "Now they linger in the abyss of hell, forever seeking redemption from their terrible actions. When cars stop on the bridge, they seize the opportunity, attempting to hitch a ride to escape their torment." The room felt heavy with the weight of the story. "But time is cruel," Bram said solemnly, "and the vehicles never stay long enough on the bridge for them to escape. As the cars drive away, they remain trapped, yearning for freedom from their eternal purgatory." He concluded his tale with a haunting tone. The bridge, once a place of love and hope, now stands as a grim reminder of the past, where two lost souls try in vain to escape their horror. Bram's friends, left with a chilling tale that would linger in their minds long after Halloween, could hardly believe the darkness of the story they had just heard. When he had finished, a shroud of silence hung in the room, broken only by the soft crackling of the pumpkin candles. Bram's best friend Josh was the first to say, "You tell a good story, man. That's creepy." Bram's expression turned solemn and he leaned in, his eyes gleaming with a mixture of dread and determination. "It's no story, it's true." Josh smiled and couldn't resist the opportunity to stir the pot. "I dare you, Bram," he said with a sinister gleam in his eye. "Drive over the bridge if it's true." Bram stared back at Josh, his heart racing, and then he couldn't help but challenge Josh right back. "I dare you to drive over Hell's Bridge with me if it's not true." The room erupted with excitement. Bram's dare had electrified the atmosphere on this hallowed Halloween night. The group of friends, enthralled by the challenge, was now filled with a party atmosphere and prepared to venture into the chilling unknown, eager to test the authenticity of the legend that had kept their town in fear for generations. The journey to Hell's Gate Bridge would become a test of their courage and their willingness to confront the mysterious and terrifying secrets that the night held. As the cars rolled to a stop on the edge of Hell's Gate Bridge, the party atmosphere that had once enveloped the group began to evaporate, leaving behind an eerie, ghostly feeling in the pit of their stomachs. The moon hung low in the dark sky, illuminating the old iron bridge in its silvery glow, a pale witness to the unsettling events that were unfolding. The loud music that had previously filled the cars with celebratory vibes on their journey to the bridge now seemed out of place in this ominous setting. Bram's heart began to pound with anticipation, but now a palpable sense of dread had gripped him. The stories of the doomed couple weighed heavily on his mind, and he exchanged an uneasy glance with Josh, his best friend and partner in this endeavor. "It's too late to back out now, Josh," Bram muttered, his voice trembling with a mix of fear and determination. Darkness now shrouded the bridge as night clouds veiled the moon, the rusted ironwork, and the unsettling shadows played tricks on their senses, making it seem as if the bridge itself was a portal to another world. They were committed to facing the curse of Hell's Gate Bridge, but the party atmosphere had now truly given way to a haunting reality they couldn't ignore. The moment had arrived to venture to the center of the bridge. Bram ignited his car's engine, and its headlights pierced the dark, rendering the structure like the skeletal remains of a demonic beast from the depths of hell. It felt as though they were venturing into the very belly of hell itself. As the car neared the heart of the bridge, its engine rumbled with tension. Bram's fingers trembled on the steering wheel as he turned off the ignition, causing the headlights to dim and plunging the car into an impenetrable darkness. The silence that followed was stifling. Moments passed like hours, and then, as if the very fabric of the night had shifted, a ghostly chill crept through the car. The air grew heavy and cold, and the pair's breath formed misty puffs in the void. Panic clawed at their chests, but they dared not break the dare. And then, as if from nowhere, whispers of sorrow floated through the darkness. The sound was haunting, the voices of the ill-fated lovers, perhaps. The car seemed to resonate with a mournful, ghostly presence. Alex, overcome with trepidation, couldn't bear the eerie silence any longer. His voice quivered as he implored, "Come on, Bram, that's enough. Start the car. Let's go now." As he looked over at Bram, the car felt as if it were closing, the atmosphere pressing down on him. The weight of the legends and the spectral presence had become too much for him to bear. With a sudden surge of fear, he couldn't take it any longer and swiftly got out of the car, running back to his friends who were waiting at the edge of the bridge. But Bram, his gaze fixed on the rearview mirror, seemed transfixed. "Just a little longer," he said with a far-off look in his eyes. "The story says they never get enough time to escape hell." As the moments ticked by, the weight of the legends and the curse of Hell's Gate Bridge seemed to tighten their grip on him. He was about to muster the courage to look forward, thinking of starting the car and driving away. But just as he turned his gaze back into the shadowy abyss of the car's window screen, a wet, clammy hand reached out from the back seat and touched him on the shoulder. "Thank you." An eerie, silent voice spoke out of the darkness. A gasp of terror escaped Bram's lips, and he twisted around to see who or what had touched him, but there was nothing there. The darkness inside the car seemed to close in on him, and he felt a presence unseen yet unmistakable, lingering in the air. His friends waiting at the edge of the bridge were caught between the reality of the dare and the chilling lore they had experienced. The line between fact and fiction blurred in the midst of their Halloween night. Suddenly, from the impenetrable darkness, a translucent red glow emerged around Bram's car. As the radiant light intensified, casting eerie shadows upon the bridge, it took on a profound, deep red glow. The sight that unfolded before their eyes left the onlookers in awe. Bram, firmly in control of the steering wheel, continued to guide the car into a new, heavenly, bright glow of light on the other side of the bridge. As the crimson radiance gradually dimmed, and the radiance from the far end of the bridge illuminated their path, it silhouetted 3 passengers in the rear seats, 2 adults and a young child. They appeared ethereal and serene, their eyes filled with expressions of peace and longing as they gazed back at Alex and the others. It seemed that Bram, through his courage and resolve, had somehow bridged the gap between the realms of the living and the dead, offering redemption and escape to the ill-fated lovers who had been trapped for so long. In that moment, the legends of Hell's Gate Bridge and its curse were rewritten forever, for it was a bridge between worlds, and as it seems, hell is no place to raise a child. The end. We hope you'll return for more spine-tingling tales in the future of the Tales of the Unknown, and where wishes come true, and nightmares become real.